Hello everybody, and welcome to a sealed video here on the channel. That's right, today we are going to be diving into a sealed build and gameplay video here on the channel. The Arena Open tournament is next weekend, which is the 20th and 21st, and that format is going to be sealed, not draft. So I figured I would make a video to help you folks get prepared for the format, learn the nuances of sealed and the differences between sealed and draft. Before I dive into the build portion though, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. Also, click that little bell if you do subscribe so you get notified when I post future videos. YouTube has told me that my bell numbers are lower than other people's, which is not worrying, but it's just kind of something that I would like to remedy. I don't really even know what the bell does really, but let's dive on in. And also, if you are enjoying my content or you want to catch me streaming live, you can find me at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas, and you can support my content via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Even subscribing for any amount, even $1 a month, really helps me out and gains you access to my card-by-card grade spreadsheet. I'm also building suspense for what rares I'm going to open. Let's see. So basically, with sealed, there's a couple things you need to know. First of all, you tend to want to play a lot of the just most powerful cards you open. So World Tree is really nice for fixing in that regard because it lets you tap your lands for any color. Blood on the Snow. I'm going to say that a lot of the snow cards are going to be really contextual depending on how many on-color snow lands you get. Because the snow lands, when you're drafting, you get to pick them, but in sealed, you just get them. But we also have another board wipe in Doomscar. So a couple board wipes. Runeforge Champion, not the greatest. Jorn is good in like a blue-black deck. King Narfi's Betrayal is good in a blue-black deck. So maybe we can build a Sultai deck because we have this card, this card, this card. So this is where our rares are kind of pointing us. Yeah, Sultai Snow is kind of looking like a spot we could start out. Another thing to know about sealed is because people are drafting because people can't draft, curves are oftentimes going to be a lot higher, which makes the decks more defensive naturally and slower. So you're going to want to, if you do get lucky enough to get a bunch of 2-drops, you can sometimes come out to a head start against your opponents, even if your aggressive deck doesn't look very good by draft standards. Or you can, on the other hand, just build a really late game control deck and not get punished as much. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be tweaking my approach as I go on, but the first thing I'm going to do is check my snow lane. So I have one snow island, one snow mountain, I have one snow forest, a couple Lityara mirror lakes, and then I have 3 snow duels. So that's good to know. Just right off the bat, I've got some snowlands, and then I'm just going to start adding to my deck every card in these colors that looks good to me. So that is a real pull into the color. So starting things off, cards like Valor of the Worthy and Codespell Cleric get so much worse in sealed than they are in draft. And when you are putting 2-drops into your deck, you want to make sure that your 2-drops are also relevant in the late game. So a card like Story Seeker is just not a good top deck on turn 10, where in draft it's a pretty good card because you're curving out, your opponents are curving out, but in sealed the card gets a lot worse. It's more useful as a sideboard card if your opponents happen to be doing something aggressive. So in white, I think Iron Verdict can be a reasonable card. Doomscar can certainly be a reasonable card, and Master Skull. These are the only 3 white cards I have that are I'm pretty happy to play white for. They just end up being some late game value, so we're just going to probably assume that we're not going to play white. Let's take a look at the gold cards real quick here just to make sure there's not any absurd gold cards. There is a Fall of the Imposter, which is decent, especially with Master Scald. So if we do get the tools to splash, I probably wouldn't splash a double colored card like Doomscar, but the Master Scald plus Fall of the Imposter package could be something that I play, and especially with the aid of the World Tree or something of that nature. So, and then there's also Svella, so maybe we want to play red because of Svella, and then we've got these cards that can maybe help us play Sultai and just splash all the cards. But for now, we're going to avoid white, and then we'll see what we want later. In blue, we want the Snow Island almost assuredly. Depart the Realm gets worse as well because it's a less tempo-oriented format, but it's still oftentimes fine as a one-of for interaction. We're not going to put it in the premium cards we're hoping to run pile yet, though. Disdainful Stroke gets a little bit better because the games are slower, so you have more time to get to the late game and hold up counter magic. Icebind Pillar is a great card. Behold the Multiverse is good. Mistwalker is probably still solid because it's just a solid tool in decks. Evasion tends to be good in sealed. So these are the blue cards that I'm actively happy playing. Oh, I missed the snow-covered swamp before. So I have one swamp, one island, and one forest. So some snow stuff there. So there's 4 blue cards that I'm pretty happy to play, which is twice as many as the white cards I was happy playing, or a little bit more. So not a ton of blue cards that I'm super excited to play, but these ones are pretty good. The pillar, especially if it works out. Let's move on to the black cards. Removal spells are always going to be nice because your opponents are going to have a lot of bombs in sealed generally because they're opening 6 packs and they get to just play the colors that have their bombs in them. Way down can be decent, but it's not like a huge pull into black. Feed the Serpent is good. Skull Raid is good because card advantage cards are generally really good. The board sweeper of Blood on the Snow is good. And so there's also 4 black cards that I'm pretty happy playing. And remember that our rares kind of indicated that Sultai Snow was something we might want to end up in. Let's look at red. Red and white tend to suffer in sealed because the aggression factor is just not able to come together as much. So like random 2-drops like Immersturm Raider get a lot worse. Dwarven Hammer, probably not as... It's still just a good card, but when you're not being aggressive, it gets a little bit worse, but still generally pretty good. So we'll put that into the pile. Scary Firewalker can be solid. Still probably just a good enough card. And then other than that, red is looking very unlikely to play other than as a splash. There's just not enough here to justify it. Moving on to green, we'd play the Snow Forest if we played green. Path to the World Tree could be really good. It could actually work really well with a lot of our cards because we have like this Svella, which makes us want to play red. And so we could play like Highland Forest and this Snow Mountain to enable the Svella and things of that nature. And then cards, and then like we also have this Jorn and this Ice-Eyed Troll if we wanted to go snow, but Yorn is probably pretty decent in green. Cyril's Packmate is pretty nice. Struggle isn't like an insane card, it's just a solid one. And Lindworm's just a nice beefy card. So we have a couple of decent green cards, and then some fixing. So right now it's looking like 5 color could be a pretty reasonable one. 5 color, like because we have some fixing, we have some duels and things like that. We have Svella to help with fixing, Path to the World Tree. And we have some decent green cards. Vega the Watcher is not going to be great, I don't think, because we don't have a ton of the colors. Ooh, Trickster God's Heist could be decent if we get some treasures or something. Axeguard Armory is not a card we're super stoked to play. Fall of the Imposter is decent. And then Lit Yaramir like rewards us for playing blue-green heavily. So if we played blue-green base and then splashed a couple of other cards, and then Bloodline Pretender tends to get worse as well. So right off the bat, I think blue-green snow that splashes around for some like nice little combo packages could be nice. So let's see what our blue-green deck looks like. So let's just filter for blue and green cards. So we put the 2 snowlands in, and then we just put in all the playable cards. So these 2 Icebind Pillar. We don't really want random 2-drops that don't do much in the late game, as I was saying. Mistbinder, Saw It coming, counter spells get a lot better. Raven, Behold, this card could be okay, but we're not going to start with it. These are all the blue cards we're okay playing. Jesper is not a card you want because the games go long enough that you are all right playing late games. Snakeskin can be good against removal. We're going to take the Path. Horizon Seeker can be good for our fixing. Troll if we get enough snow. Yorn could be really good if we end up splashing black, which we probably will. Packmate's good. Struggle is good. Lindworm is good as a top end card. Outrider is probably pretty good as well. We'll put the World Tree in just because we're probably going to play that, and we're going to put the 2 Mirror Lakes in. And then if we wanted to splash red for Svella, we could put the Svella in, the Highland Forest, the, where is it? We're probably not going to splash Arnie Slays the Troll because it's just another card to splash, but if we were, we could also put in this Snow Mountain so that we have something to go get with our Path to the World Tree. Thank you so much, Zach, for the subscription. I really appreciate that. Okay, so if this is like a initial kind of build here, we're still a little bit light on playables here. We have 3, 4 red sources, kind of, if we count these as a half, so kind of 3 red sources, 3.5, because this is like half a red source. This can start fixing our mana. If we were to play black, what would we want to add? We would want to add in Snow-Covered Swamp, Feed the Serpent, the double Skull Raids, and the Blood on the Snow. So we'd have to play black as a main color, which seems a little bit trickier. We could play black, green, and splash blue, which could certainly be reasonable. So let's see how that would look. Because we can play the Behold the Multiverse and the Icebind Pillar as our only blue cards if we want. We could even add some of the counters later if we thought it was worth it. Thanks, Crisp. I'm so glad. So let's add the Snow Swamp. And then we'll add the Feed the Serpent, the Double Skull Raid, and the Blood on the Snow. And then we could splash King Narfi's Betrayal. That's pretty decent, I think. We're going to be splashing a decent number of blue. We are going to be splashing King Narfi's Betrayal. Cauldron is a blue card, and Behold, so that's 3 blue cards. And we'll have 1, 2, 3 blue sources plus all the other cards I mentioned, and they're all single blue, so pretty reasonable, I think. So Sultai splashing red for Svella is seeming decent here. And we're just not trying to play anything that's too color intensive, too difficult. Do we have any bombs to get back with return? Not really. We're kind of light on threats, actually. Okay, so if we're playing green-blue, we've already put in all of our green cards. And we can even play the Sulphurous Mire, which is nice. Could help us splash red. Which of these colorless cards do I want? And then the final question is, do I want to splash white? I'm so glad you liked it, Danbat. So if we're playing black, we have 3, 4 black cards. I don't think we're really a Goldvein pick deck. We don't really have a lot of creatures right now. Raven Wings is a card that you often want to include in sealed because the board stalls out a lot more because the games last a long time. I don't think pick helps your mana if you don't have the creatures to attack with. Do we have any like massive amounts of creature types? Not really. We have 4 warriors, but this card doesn't really generate. It's not a great top deck. Most of your cards, you want them to be good top decks later on. Arnie Slays the Troll could be a fine splash, given that we already have a decent number of red sources. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 red sources or something like that. Carve isn't great without a lot of creatures. Okay, we're not playing white at the moment. Trickster God's Heist. We don't have a ton of expendable creatures. So we could just play Snakeskin Veil to protect some stuff. That's reasonable. Skemfar Shadow Sage. Not a card I'm in love with playing. Probably just want to play Draugr Recruiter. Can buy back other creatures that may die. Demonic Gift is sometimes alright. Probably can play Way Down because we don't use our graveyard in any other way, but we don't have a ton of creatures. So that could be a little bit rough. And then if we are playing a decent amount of blue cards, we have 1, 2, 3 blue cards. So we don't really want to go too heavy into blue. We already have 3 blue cards. So playing the Augury Raven, the Mistwalker, the Sod Coming is a little bit ambitious. If we did want to go into white, we could add in this Master Scald and then the other card that we liked. But I think our mana is already a little bit stretched, so I don't really want to add the Master Scald Fall of the Imposter combo. I guess Master Scald's also really good with King Narfi's Betrayal and Path to the World Tree. Do we have a Snow Plains? No, we do not. Huh. We could play Skull Cairn too, instead of a swamp. I'm not going to play the Black Flyer because I'm not going to have a ton of, they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if I play all these cards. Splashing white feels appealing, but I'm already playing 4 colors, which is a very ambitious thing to be doing. My base 2 colors are black and green. I'm already playing all of my green cards that are marginally playable. So my last couple cards probably have to come from black, or I just have to like suck it up and play a Bloodline Pretender. How many of my creatures crew Raiders Carve? That could be good. A lot of them seem to crew it. I only have 8 creatures, so I probably want some more creatures. So I'm just going to add a couple of creatures. I could add Jarl of the Forsaken. I could add Grim Draugr. I'm just going to add Grim Draugr. And then I'm going to play 18 lands, I think, because I have a lot of card advantage stuff with the Skull Raids, the Behold, the King Narfi's Betrayal, the Svella. Jorn can be good for me. And also Grimdragger being a snow creature that I can get back over and over with the Cauldron is pretty nice. So having snow creatures is good for that. I could also consider splashing more blue cards, but I think I'm going to keep the blue splash light. So I think I'm going to play 18 lands, because that should be helpful with all my activated abilities and stuff. And I have a lot of removal. Trickster God's Heist. I'm not sure how good this would be. But I think this should be a decent build at the least. I have a decent amount of stuff to do on turn 2, even though they're not 2-drops, because I have a lot of Foretell. So this is 39 cards, but I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 lands already. So I can add one more card. Yikes. So I think I want to keep my blue sources to a minimum and while still maximizing the Yara Mirror Lake. So this is 3. I'm not going to add any more blue sources. So I'm going to keep it down to 3. So I'm not going to add any blue cards. With black cards, I have 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 black sources for not that many black pips. So I can probably shave a swamp here. What's my main color? It's green. And I have 3, 4, 5, 6. Definitely want to add in another green. So this is 1, 2, 3, 7. So I have 5, 6, 7 black, 7 green, 3 blue, and 1, 2, 3, 3 red, and 3 blue. So 3 red, 3 blue, which is enough for a splash. 7 black, and 7 green, which is decent mana. And then Path to the World Tree can fix it. I probably would like one more green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18. So I could consider, I guess I don't really want to go down a swamp is the thing. So I guess 7 green might have to do, especially because all my green cards are single green. But green is the color of a lot of my fixing. But I think I'm just going to keep the mana like that, and I'm going to add a green or a black card. I don't think I want Jesper or Sentinel, which does limit my options a decent amount. I could just play Hailstorm Valkyrie as a flyer. And I have a decent amount of snowlands. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 snowlands. So it can pump itself sometimes. It's just not a great card, I don't think. It's between that, Return Upon the Tide, Dread Rider, and Jarl. I guess we can try this card out. We could alternately just play a Bloodline Pretender because it's easy to cast. And we have how many warriors? We ended up with 4 warriors. It certainly wants to be a creature, so I think it's between the Bloodline Pretender and the Valkyrie. I think, or we could play Trickster God's Heist, which is like a splash. Trade off a weak creature for a good creature. I'm just going to try the Valkyrie. I think it's close, though. This card could alternately also be pretty decent. The Carve is a consideration as well. We're splashing 2 red cards, 1, 2, 3 blue cards. If we had a red card we wanted to splash, we could consider that as well. We could splash the Hammer. That's a consideration. Instead of playing Hailstorm, we could splash Hammer. Tough, tough, tough. Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm just going to play the Hammer. I think it's a better card than the Valkyrie. It's like another 5-drop. But yeah, we're going to try this build out, I think. We'll make Svella. We'll make Yorn our picture because we're kind of playing Sultai Snow with a couple splashes. This is our deck. It looks pretty interesting. Kind of slow, kind of dirtly, but that's just what a lot of sealed decks are. I really like how the mana base ended up working out. I like the colors and cards we decided to play. This Dwarven Hammer might just be better as something else, but we'll have to find out how good it is in this sealed format. Ugh, it's so close on whether or not to play the Hammer or the Valkyrie. I think, oh gosh. Oh man, it's tough. I think being in a main color is really nice. I'm just going to play the Valkyrie. But yeah, that's going to do it for the build portion, and I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support me over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, especially those who support me at the credits level. I really do appreciate the support, and it is thanks to the support of patrons that I'm able to continue producing high quality videos on a consistent basis. Even those who pledge just a single $1 a month really do help me out, and all patrons gain access to my card by card grade spreadsheet for Kaldheim, so you get that nice little resource no matter what level of patron you are, and then you can get access to other cool things at higher tiers. But without further ado, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round 1. We have a good hand here. The Raven's Wings is a little bit questionable in our deck, but I think the card is just generally pretty good. We don't have blue mana, but we have 3 of our colors here, thanks to the Skull Cairn. And overall, that's pretty much all you can ask for in a deck that's playing 4 colors. Having all of our colors would be a bit greedy, and we don't want to cast this until late game anyway. Oh dear. Well, I think we're going to foretell this card. Finn can really hose our deck because we don't have a lot of creatures. And we don't have a ton of removal either. So pretty much this turn I wanted to get my tap land down. I can use King Narfi's Betrayal to get back my Svella eventually. So this turn I'm going to go... Oh, tough, because I don't have the mana to go Svella fight immediately. I'm still going to play Svella. That was a mess up. I thought I had double green, which was my bad. I should have played Svella last turn. They didn't attack, which is interesting. So we can block the Infernal Pet here. Oh, nice. So we're going to probably want to use... This is a Forester, was a really good draw. So we're going to play Forest. What we can do is we can Skull Raid their last 2 cards. This is pretty hard to activate in our deck. Probably better than a Plains. So we're going to start by doing this, see what they're working with. Fight that. And then pass. Then we can use Snakeskin to be able to protect from removal. And then blank this thing for a little bit. And they have a creature in their graveyard. We don't have a creature in ours. But we can also just start using this to make tokens and then copy things. We can afford to take a little poison damage. Oh. And if they kill this, we're actually okay with it. Double red, so I need to make a ice thing with this. Guaranteed this turn. So I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna make an ice on their turn, I think. So I can hold back the Carful. Up to 6 poison. Sure. Perfect. Cyril's Packmate is just what we were looking for. They could have a discard 2 of their own, so we're just going to hold this land. We can trade there. If they do kill the Packmate, we'll just have to block. King Narfi's Betrayal also works really well here. And then we have... Oh, okay. I'm going to make another snow thing. I'm getting closer to making this a big deal. This is the first game Juice ain't free. And they can kill this, and then I just sweep everything away. And because I'm going to spend 3 snowman, I can even get back my Spella. I'm going to get back the Spella, I think. Okay, so what do I want to get back from their graveyard? I'm going to probably take... Oh, this is my graveyard. So... Cast spells. So if I get back the Yorn, then I can get back any of my snow cards that I milled. So this is their graveyard. I don't have a Masked Vandal. So it's between the Packmate and the Yorn, but Yorn can get back my Hailstorm unlimited times. Oh no, they have a Hailstorm. I'm just gonna get back the Yorn, I think, because then I can get back Grimdragger unlimited times and Spell unlimited times. Yeah, it's weird that it shows both graveyards at once. The World Tree lets you get white mana. I'm not playing it for the activation sneaks, I'm playing it for the mana fixing. Because it lets me activate my Yara Mirror Lakes more easily, and things like that. Spirit of the Alder Guard, okay. Oh, if I played this, I could have made a snow thing first. That was bad. No, but it kind of does, because when I was getting back my Cauldron, I needed to know whether this Hailstorm Valkyrie was in my graveyard or theirs. It's actually a really bad UI, because it makes the information really hard to tell. It also kind of implies that you can exile 2 cards from the same graveyard, which is not true. And they scoop it up. Yeah, it's pretty relevant, and it's a pretty bad UI that it doesn't let you. So we got the win in round 1. Currently, the deck is performing well. Hailstorm Valkyrie actually looked like it would have been pretty good there, so I don't think I need to make any changes right now. I will say that Yara Mirror Lake is probably not as good as I was hoping, because I don't have really any blue sources other than other Mirror Lakes, Svella things. Svella is a really key card in the deck. It's hard to use a little bit, but I think it's pretty good. 7 of my main color is tough. 7 for black is also tough. I would love an Ice Ring, or whatever it's called. I think that was pretty good, though. Blood in the Snow really was great for me there. Blood in the Snow was excellent. Other cards, Svella was absolute monster of a card. As you could see, the game wasn't that fast. If I hadn't had to worry about Finn counters, I could have just taken damage forever. I think I ended the game at like 10 life or something, and I was not really assembling defenses there. I did also draw my colors, which was nice. But overall, pretty chill. Okie doke. Round 2. We have red, green, and black, so 3 of our colors again. Path can get our Snow Island, so we'll have 4. Oh, that's what they were saying. Why do you have Path of the World Tree without white mana? It's fixing, and I have ways of getting white mana. I have World Tree, and I have Svella. But I see what you mean. So I have 2 white sources, essentially. It's also just janky fixing, which I kind of need. And that does something in the late game, so that's kind of exactly what I'm looking for. Beautiful. I've got mine coming. Looking good so far. If they struggle for Schem Farm me, I'm not the most happy, but it's a fine trade. Bloodline Pretender, okay. Giant, sure. Get my Snow Island. And foretell this. The Raven Wings is not great in my deck, I must say. Or it hasn't felt good so far. I might want to swap that out just because my creature count's low. So we can start tapping down creatures. Raven Wings is typically very good in sealed because games stall out and you need a way to win. Okay, we will tap down this guy in case they have a Flash Giant. Ouch. That's rough. I'm probably going to lose this one. Hey, Ben, how are you doing? No blocks. Yep. School was tough today. I don't have classes on Friday, so I'm actually having a pretty good day. Oh yeah, we're going to get obliterated. This card is real good. Man, Masked Vandal's shutting us down. Yeah, we're not going to win this one, I don't think. We could rip blood off the snow off the top. So we're still going to try and survive, of course. Oh, never mind. We're just totally dead. Yeah, we are chump block. We can't possibly. I guess we could have still ripped blood off the snow. It did not change my outs at all, but I was going to go to... I was going to chump there. Take 6, 7, 8, go to 2. Yeah, and they draw a card. I was probably dead. I had one out maybe to win the game. I shouldn't have conceded. I forgot I had blood in the snow in my deck. Whoops. Even though Sujov just pointed it out. But yeah. Let's show off my deck to any new viewers just coming in. We are playing a 4-color snow variant. Calamity Bear messed me up there. We have forwards. I think I'm going to cut the Raven Wings for the Bloodline Pretender that we have. It's like a 3-mana 3/3 that can sometimes grow a little bit more than that. We could also play Jarl, but I like having a 3-drop, I think. The Raven's Wings just feels too slow. Our deck already has a lot of slow stuff in it. Only 4-color snow now. Well, it's a 2/2, but I just have to have one other creature in my hand, and I can just name whatever type is the creature. Fancy. It is, Zach. It is indeed sealed. So yeah, it's like basically a 3-mana 3/3. I haven't tried Raider's Carve yet, and it's just really not great in this deck because I have so few creatures. Like I have 9 creatures or something. Even though like 6 of them can crew it, it's just such a low proportion of creatures. Sealed, do you think is the toughest? It definitely is a different challenge from draft. Okay, let's see how round 3 goes. So far we've been pretty lucky with our mana. Okie doke. We're gonna keep it. We have 3 of our colors. Any hand that has 3 of our colors, we have to keep pretty much. We are missing red, which is the color we really wanted here. But we're in okay shape. Take these Raven Wings out of your deck, yeah. Several Glittering Frosts can really be a key enabler for multicolored. I agree. If I had 1 Glittering Frost, this deck would be a lot better, because Glittering Frost makes Blood in the Snow a lot better. Okie doke. Having to play Hailstone Valkyrie is kind of a yikes. But I think it made sense. We get to play the game knowing that we have Blood on the Snow, which is really nice. Oh yes, World Tree, let's go. Pretty good for us. They're probably going to get a Cyril's Packmate or something off their Foretell, or if it's a fight spell, that's not great. If it's Demon Bolt, it's okay for us, because we're going to probably just try to play this on turn 6. Yep. Need to make sure I play my Swamp. Just gonna make him discard 2. It didn't get a counter because you have to pay the snow mana of that color, so they don't have a Snow Forest. Okay, they discard 2 lands. Still gonna have an impact on them, slow them down, hopefully. Once I get to 6 mana, I'll be able to cast Blood in the Snow no matter what. Yikes. Probably gonna have to run out this Yorn here. Actually, I'm gonna play the Valkyrie, because the Valkyrie can block the Boreal Outrider. And if they do kill it, then we can just use the Cauldron to get it back. This is okay for us. If they jam another creature here, we'll get to Blood in the Snow. We don't get anything back. Okay, in this case we'll Lindworm. And if they counter it, we're in trouble. Okay, we're going to be going down to 2 life here. Do they have another counter? Good game, opponent. Whew, that was unfortunate. Unfortunate indeed. Two counters was really rough for our 2 6-drops. Okie doke, hoping to get another win with this deck. But we are learning. The counter spells seemed really good against us. Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Again, we have 3 of our colors: red, green, black. We don't have blue, but we can still just play our cards, so we're going to keep this. I wish I didn't have to play 4 colors. I think the deck probably has to play 4 colors, but it's just an unfortunate way of the world here. We'll foretell that. Next turn I can jam Jorn. Okay. We'll just start hitting them, I guess. Maybe they have a kill spell. Fearless Pup. Well, that's not really a typically good sealed card. Oh, this is great. So we can play the troll. Attack. And now we can hold up Snakeskin Veil. It's much better in sealed than it is in normal draft, and it's pretty decent in normal draft, I'd say. We're back up to an even record, though I think that wasn't really worthy of a fist pump because they didn't get to play, really. I do have to say I like my odds against the Fearless Pup decks of the world in sealed, though, because you generally can't get enough support. So maybe I actually don't like my odds against Fearless Pup, because if they're playing Fearless Pup, it means I'm probably about to get wrecked. Do I have ways to buff power of creatures? Because I could play Death Knell Berserker just so I have a 2-drop. I don't really have ways to buff power, and Foretell makes you way less likely to need 2-drops. It's worth thinking about. That's why Best of 1 sealed is much worse, because you generally have so many cards that you can like customize your choices to better reflect your matchup, and sometimes even change out colors or things like that. But in Best of 1 you don't get to do that. So it's a little bit unfortunate in the way that it runs. I do have a Dwarven Hammer, but I'm not playing it. I decided against it because it's in a color that I only have 3 red sources. 3.5 if I include Horizon Seeker in that count. My mana's pretty bad overall, so this deck suffers because of that. Pigpen Chaos hard agrees with something, but I don't know exactly what he hard agrees with. I have the Hexproof trick. I have some ways. Okay. I have 2 of my colors, but this gives me my other colors when I get to 6 lands. And I don't have black mana, but I can cast my Behold, which will help me find stuff. Oh, yeah. So this is a keeper because we have the Behold to help us find stuff, I think. And the World Tree is going to help us cast all of the spells. And there's our swamp. King Narfi's Betrayal has like the UI irritates me so much that I kind of just don't like playing the card. It like makes me unhappy to play, which is not really what you want in a game. You want to be happy when you play your cards. Like that would be satisfying animations and things like that. Okay, Doomscar. Not a card that I'm particularly afraid of. I probably should have played the island this so I could like play a tap land if I drew it. I don't think I need the Grim Dragger, but Horizon Seeker is probably nice. Just so I have something to do with my mana. And I'll get rid of the forest. I don't know why I did that on my main phase. Yeah. Probably a really bad main phase play. To be quite honest, I had to discard a forest for no reason. I was more concerned with reading Twitch chat, so that was my bad. Apologies for the misplay, as they say. Now I have my red source. We're gonna go for this. They could have their own combat trick. But if they don't, then I get to have a 4-3, which attacks decently well. Probably gonna play my 5-5 now. Not really perma envy. I can't attack because if I do, then I get completely decked. So now I can use Arnie Slays the Troll. Oh, that's great. Because of World Tree, I can cast anything I want, so we'll just do this. Knock out their last 2 cards. This is pretty good for us. And then now we both have creatures in our graveyard, so I can use my... Oh no, I don't have any creatures in my graveyard. Well... Attacking seems weak there. Because I have this to blow out their blocks with Doomscar Oracle next turn. Okay, they have Yorn. This is the forest that I discarded earlier. Like, look at this UI. It's so bad. Well, I get Glorious Protector. And then I get these from my graveyard. It's just like, why wouldn't you just separate them? And then I'll take the Valkyrie because the flyer. Wait, be the battlefield. I do have a lot of snowlands. Actually, this thing is... It does end the game in a hurry. That could be wrong. Hello, Carnvera. Okay. I actually have 2 gods because I have Yorn in my deck. I can just cast that with Flash. Oh no, it's until end of turn. And then I can copy it with the Yara. Okay. I did not. Is it, guy? Okay. Got the win. We've locked up at least a 3 and 2, which is nice. Blow Then Pretender was going to be real bad there. I just don't know what my last card should be. It honestly could just be correct to play the Berserker. I have occasional ways to up its power. And it's my main color. And the 3 mana 2/2 doesn't do much for me. It's in my main colors. I don't really want way down because my deck is so creature light. Yeah, I'm just gonna try the Death Knell Berserker. I'm not really playing the 3 mana 2/2 to be any meaningful win con in the deck, so I'll just play a card that's actually playable. I don't want to play the Sentinels though, still. Lightly toasted. Okay, so we have our 3 of our colors. We don't have blue. We have a pretty nice start here. Packmate is always good to play early. We are 3 and 2. Well, Raven's playable, but as you can see, Fancy, I don't have very many blue cards in the deck. I only have 3 blue sources, so I'm not going to play a Raven. It's not really it's not about the card being good. I would have played it if I was playing base blue, but I determined that the best way to play as many of my good cards as possible was to play base black green. Because I have a couple double black cards that are really good that I wanted to play, and I figured I could splash the blue cards. Ah, they're also playing Death Knell. I can now connect with them on this Death Knell level. And now we have our blue mana for the Icebind Pillar. I did triangle. We'll block. Okie doke. So this turn we'll play Ice-Bind Pillar and tap the Death Knell. Then next turn we can play Eyesight Troll and hold up the indestructible part. We're one step behind the game here. Hopefully we can live long enough until our Ravenous Lindworm stabilizes us. Oh, that's just about the worst possible situation. Oh, man. I think this is a change of plan moment here. We play the troll because then we only take 3. Yeah, pseudonym 4 colors. It's not ideal, but it works. So now if they kill this, we're in trouble. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that is not good. We're gonna have to get rid of the Feed the Serpent because we can't cast it. But if we can survive, we can go Ravenous Lindworm and then Lityara Mirror Lake on Lindworm, and then we'll survive. You're kidding me. Oh no. This reduces the most power. Oh no, what do they have? I really want to draw another forest off the top, because then I can struggle for Skemfar and use the Lityara Mirror Lake. So I don't take more damage from the Menace guy. Currently I'm going to go to 3, then back up to 7. Oh man, the brutality. Wow, that was their last card, eh? Hey, Pacha. It's not good enough. So I go up to 5. No, it is. It's good enough to live. I'm going to block there so I can attack here. Take 4, block. Struggles, tap a creature, Ice-Bind Pillar, attack them for lethal. Saga power level. Jeez Louise. They played 3 really good sagas. I guess Carter's kind of needs some work to be good. Rats. Well, we did have a plan for winning the game because they were going to attack us all out and they were going to get a blocker from this. But they were going to have to play 2 more blockers. Pretty good deck that they had. We had a pretty decent deck as well. The mana was a real issue and it's like speed was a bit slow, but it had some stuff going for it. That last opponent's deck was really good. Yeah, Shmeeks, it was greedy, but I think that it was pretty necessary because we couldn't really beat the Death Touch guy as well, and if they just play a couple of creatures there, we can win the next turn. So there's like a decent chance of success there. It like the odds of us, like we're gonna be just in huge trouble against their Menace plus Death Touch Flyer cards. Because that requires us to have 3 blockers or 2 removal spells, and we had the 2 removal spells, but we're gonna just be in trouble then if they play a couple creatures. And so I gambled on them not having removal and just having creatures instead. So that was the gamble that I made. But yeah, for those of you who were watching this on YouTube, I really do hope you found the video entertaining and informative. I really tried to go in depth on how I was building the deck so that when you build the decks yourself, you can know exactly what you're doing and what you should be keeping in mind. If you did make it all the way to the end, remember to hit that thumbs up button. It does help me out a ton. Also subscribe to the channel so you get notified when I post future videos. Leave a comment with any questions or feedback. You can check out the Twitch stream live at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. You can support my content via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. If you support me at just $1 a month, you gain access to my card-by-card grade spreadsheet for Kaldheim. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, you can support my content at no extra cost to you and gain Discord benefits in the process. By linking your Amazon and Twitch accounts, you gain access to Prime Gaming because Amazon owns Twitch, and then you can subscribe to my channel for free each month. And if you are a subscriber of the channel, you gain access to the subscriber section of the Discord server, which is a room that I'm going to be using to organize subscriber events. So if you want to gain access to that stuff, you can subscribe to my Twitch channel. Or if you're a patron at the $5 or more per month, which is the same level as a Twitch sub, you also gain access to that room for subscriber and patron events. If you want to read my articles, you can find those linked below. You can also find the link to join the Discord. There's 99% of the Discord is free to the public, and everyone is available to join, and it is wonderful to have everyone in there. But yeah, that's going to do it for this draft video. If you made it all the way to the end of this little outro and stuff, leave hashtag snow time, because it was a pretty cool snow deck for a sealed pool, especially because I don't necessarily anticipate being able to get all these snow lands on color in the future. We'll leave hashtag snow time to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time.